I went from just over £2 million portfolio to over a £3.5 million portfolio in a fraction of the time it took me to get just over £2 million in my property portfolio, with just this one little change and shift. And no, it's not BRR. No, it's not OPM, other people's money, although I do use BRR and other people's money to help build the momentum of my property wealth building. But this one little shift is what enabled me to really accelerate the speed forward, and I didn't really see it before, and now I've understood that I'm building a portfolio at a faster pace than I did over the last. I built more in the last couple of years than I did over probably the last 5 years before that. So it's really a compounding effect. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you stay around to the end, because the last concept that I'm going to share with you is really important. And let's get into this. So let me start. Property and building wealth via property is a fantastic tool and fantastic vehicle for wealth building, but it is slow. You cannot build substantial size property portfolios really quick unless you're exception of the rule. You might be exception of the rule, and if you are, fantastic. But what we're going to do is take you through these frameworks that I've learned, that I've adapted, and the learnings I've learned, so you can find out where you are in your journey and adapt this to find the pace of where you need to go. So building wealth in property is a slow game, as I said, and what the frameworks I've adapted for this is what I've realized: to build wealth in anything or to build any business, you need 4 major components. You need money, you need knowledge, you need network, and in the middle of that 4 major components, you need time. This is what I call the property delta matrix. The reason I call it delta matrix is because in ancient Latin, the delta was a triangle shape. So this is what glues together what you're going to do in any business, by the way. But if we adapt this now to property, so with property, the foundation of property, you want multiple streams of property income. Got that from Progressive Boys. You want multiple streams of income to come in property to give yourself a really solid all-weather portfolio. I won't talk about the all-weather portfolio now because that's a video for another time, but basically there's different forms of wealth building. This is not talking about the strategies like rent to rent, service rent to SA and things like this. This is talking about the different strategies of owning a property and building the wealth from ownership. And at the bottom of that, you've got your buy to lets. That is the foundation of any solid portfolio. The unfortunate thing is, if you live in and around London like I do, buy-to-lets don't work anymore. So that's why I'm a remote property investor, and I invest 250 miles away from where I live. Above that, the next strategy up is HMOs and service accommodations. So HMOs are house and multiple occupancy. Service accommodation is when you take your property and rent it out on Airbnb. Above that is commercial conversions. It's when you take a commercial building like a shop or something like that and you convert it into a residential. And above that is land development. It's when you take a piece of land and you build from the bricks upwards, or from the foundation upwards into a house from scratch. The further you go up this, the more profitable it is, but the bigger the risk that comes with that, the bigger responsibility that comes with that, and the more skill that you need to do that. So this is the delta matrix. What I say to people is, what you want to ask yourself is, from 0 to 10, how do you score yourself on all of these? So if we think of money here, if we think of money, for example, how much money you've got from 0 to 10, how much knowledge you've got, how much network have you got? Because the further you go up, the more you're going to need. Like, to do commercial conversions is a very different build you'll need from doing a buy to let. But also doing commercial conversions, costing that, understanding the specification, you need to cut your teeth a little bit earlier on in the journey. So buy to let, you will run out on costing. Even your experience, you run out on costing. So what you want to do is cut your teeth on a buy to let when you start with, to test all them errors and costing mistakes you make on a lower risk. So you always want to mitigate and manage risk, because if you go too high up here, you could bankrupt yourself really quickly. You often involves other people's money, often involves bank money in development finance and stuff like that, and you could bankrupt yourself really quickly. Also, the bank won't lend to you if you're too far up here. So you've got to think about how much time I've got. And I've got one down the bottom here, what I call courage, confidence, and conviction. How much pressure, how much stress can you handle? Because it might sound pretty doing developments and these big deals, but the reality is it comes with more pressure and stress. And if you can't handle that, you're not going to get anywhere. Like a confused mind does nothing. Like, you will not do anything. The biggest reason people do not get ahead in what they do is because fear freezes them. And the further you go up this equation, the more courage and the more fearful it is. So you need to build up that courage. Like you think of Anthony Joshua when he won the Olympics, he did not go straight into a heavyweight title fight when he became a pro. He done a thing called journeyman and he built up to that. You think of Wayne Rooney when he not Wayne Rooney, when professional footballers come through the ranks of football teams, they go out on loan to Ryman's leagues and first division clubs to build up the confidence to go into the bigger arenas, because most of what we do, 80% of what we do is psychology, 20% is strategy. So that means the strategy is very important, but if we've not got the psychology to move forward and the mindset, we will not achieve the goals we want to achieve. So that's why they build up their confidence. There is exceptions to the rule. I need to give that away a minute ago, like Wayne Rooney or Mike Tyson that was 19. Mike Tyson was 19 and heavyweight champion of the world. Wayne Rooney scores on his debut at 16. But they're exceptions, not the rules. If you are an exception, fantastic. We'll identify that here. But in general, if you're the rule, you're just behind the rule. You might be the exception the other way around. We've got to find the right pace to build you forward. But the thing with building wealth like this is very slow. BRR has been a strategy that I've been building my wealth over years with, and that's what got me to probably around the 2 million mark portfolio. But building it beyond that at a faster pace, it's just slow. It takes a while to refinance it, to develop these, to pull your money out. And the bigger the deals you do, the longer time span that takes as well, like bigger developments. So it's a slow thing. I'm still buying properties. I'm still a massive fan of buying properties. At the time of recording this, I was just buying a block of 6 flats, and they've, like a few months ago, they've just fallen out of bed. So I'm still out there looking for deals like this. But it takes time to build that up, and you run out of funds really quickly, and the banks are not lending as strongly as they used to before against these. At the time of recording this, interest rates are higher than they have been for the last year, although they're probably where they should be for the long-term future. So it takes a while to build that up and compound that up. So what do you do to speed that up? What did I do to speed this up? What I added is, at the bottom of this delta matrix, I added an extra layer to this bottom here. So let's see if we can squeeze this in. And what I added to this was active, excuse my spelling, I'm dyslexic, so this is not a grammatical lesson, but I added active income. When you add active income to what you're doing, what you want to do, James Sinclair calls this fast pounds and slow pounds. So if you can go off and add some income and then put that income into buying properties and still do the BRR, still lend some private finances, this gives you the ability to lend more private finances because you know you've got active income coming in. So if you've got a business over here, what I suggest you do is find a business over here that complements this. So you might be like a deal sourcer, or you might be a property manager. Hard one, that one, but it still complements what you are doing. So think of things that you can like lead into here that will complement it. You might set people's Facebook ads up for their marketing or their funnels and stuff like that. Think of stuff that's going to complement this over here so it goes into the same ecosystem. And if you can create active income, maybe you've been experiencing it, so you can create some e-learning, massive appetite for e-learning at the moment. You might become a mentor. Only become a mentor if you've got experience to do it. Only take money from people to train them if you have got the ability and the skills to do that. Don't just jump into them. It is a hard business, by the way, as well. It's not just get money quick and easy. It takes a lot of time and effort because a lot of people's trust is jaded on that. But these are active incomes that you can add to this. So then what you do is you take your active incomes down here, you put it up to here, do your buy to lets. You take the compounding income from your buy to lets and you put it into here, and you keep on compounding that income and putting it up to all these different levels if you want to keep on extending up. And what happens, as I said, when you lend other people's money, the active income is coming in knowing, like, at the time of recording this, I'm paying back an investor out of my active income because too much money was left in the deal. We had planning issues and there was a challenge with that particular deal. So the active income is the thing that saved me. So look, I told you, hang around to the end. This is the thing that's going to help you out. I hope you got value from this video. The property delta matrix is what's going to help you build wealth in there, but make sure you had a layer of active income to what you're doing. And listen, my why is to live on my terms. My mission is to help as many people live on their terms using property, financial education, mindset as a vehicle to do that. So please help me out my mission and share this if you find this valuable. Hit that bell icon and subscribe button if you've not done it already. Hit the like button, really helps. Please comment below your thoughts and stuff like that. It really helps engagement, and I'll do my best to answer as many of these comments. But remember, if you don't evolve your ideas, you're never going to live on your own terms. So evolve your ideas, live on your own terms, and have an amazing day.